important role. So to know more about Rama and his leadership abilities, we have Srimati Vasudha Sundar, who's going to do a Sangeeta Upanyasam on the leadership skills from Ramayana. So put your hands together for Srimati Vasudha Sundar, and you can have an enjoyable experience. Thank you very much. Okay, she will be accompanied by Mr. Krishnamani on the violin and Shreyas on the mridangam. So put your hands together for all the three of them. Thank you.
Can we have all the backbenchers come forward, please? The backbenchers. Let's move forward in life, come on. Am I audible?
Check 1.
शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये वागीशाद्याः सुमनसा सर्वार्थानमुपक्रमे यं तत्पकृतकृत्या स्वयं स्तुं नमामि गजाननं श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं दोर्भियुक्ताः चतुर्भिः स्फटिकमणिमयीम् अक्षमालां तदानां हस्तेनैकेन पद्मं सितमपि च शुकं पुस्तकं चापरेणात् भासा गुन्देन्दुशङ्खस्फटिकमणिनिभा भासमाना समाना सा मे वाग्देवतेयं निवसतु वदने सर्वदा सुप्रसन्ना कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकिर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानाथं को नयाति परां गतिं यः पिबन् सततं रामं चरितामृतसागरम् अतृप्तस्तं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेतसमकल्मषं पुष्पदीकृतवाराशिं मशकीकृतराक्षसं रामायण महामाल रत्नं वन्दे अनिलात्मजम् अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकीशोकनाशनं कपीशमक्षहन्दारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करम् उल्लङ्घ्य सिन्धोत्सलिलं सलीलं यशोकवह्निं जनगात्मजाय आदाय तेनैव ददाह लङ्का नमामि तुं प्राञ्जलिराञ्जनेयम् आञ्जनेयमदिपाटलालनं काञ्जनात्रिकमनीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि भवमाननन्दनं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमद राक्षसान्तकं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं मादात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि यः कर्णाञ्जलिं सम्पुटैरहरः सम्यक् पिबत्यादरात् वाल्मीकिवरदारविन्दगलितं रामायणाख्यं मधु जन्मव्याधिजराविपत्तिमरणैः अत्यन्तसोपद्रवं संसारसविहाय गच्छति पुमान् विष्णोपदं शाश्वतं तदुपगतसमाससन्धियोगं सममधुरोपनतार्थवाक्यबद्धं रघुवरचरितं मुनिप्रणीतं वन्दे दशशिरश्च वशं निशामध्यमं वाल्मीकिरिसम्भूत रामसागरगामिनी पुनातु भुवनं पुण्य रामायणमहानदी श्लोकसागरजलाकीर्णं सर्गकल्लोलसङ्कुलं काण्डग्राहं महामीनं वन्दे रामायणानवं वेदवेद्ये पुरे पुंसे जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदप्राचेदसादासीत् साक्षात् रामायणात्मनः वेदेहि सहितं सुरद्रमतले हैमे महामण्डपे मध्ये पुष्पकमासने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितम् अग्रे वाचिति प्रभञ्जनसुते तत्त्वं मुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं भरतादिभिः परिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलं वामे भूमिसुता पुरश्च हनुमान् पश्चात् सुमित्रासुत शत्रुघ्नो भरतश्च पार्श्वदलयोर् वाय्वादिकोणेषु च सुग्रीवश्च विभीषणश्च युवराटतारासुतो जाम्बवान् मध्ये नीलसरोजकोमलरुचिं रामं भजे श्यामलं नमोऽस्तु रामाय सलक्ष्मणाय दिव्यै च तस्यै जनगात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यः नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः मङ्गलं कौसलेन्द्राय महनीयगुणात्मने चक्रवर्ते तनुजाय सार्वभौमाय मङ्गलम्. We start this upanyasam with a song by composition by Sri Bangalore Nagaraj. He is very popularly called as Meenakshi Sutta. रामन अवतार श्री रामन अवतार सीता रामन अवतार कल्याण रामन अवतार सुंदर रामन अवतार काकुस्थ रामन अवतार कोदंड रामन अवतार कौसल्या रामन अवतार ಈ ಜಗದೊಳು ಶ್ರೀ ಸೀತಾ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣ ಸುಂದರ ಕಾಕುಸ್ಥ ಕೋದಂಡ ಕೌಸಲ್ಯ ರಾಮನ ಅವತಾರ ಈ ಜಗದೊಳು ಅಮಿತ ದಯಾ ಸಾರ ಮನ ಸುಂದರ ರಾಮನ ಅವತಾರ ಈ ಜಗದೊಳು ಅಮಿತ ದಯಾ ಸಾರ ಮಾರ ಸುಂದರ ರಾಮನ क्षितिजा मोहन शांति सदन धारयणो धारक राम धारयणो धारक राम रामेति रमे मनोरमेति धारयणो धारक नाम विराजित धारयणो धारक नाम विराजित वरमीनाक्षि सुत स्मरिसुव शरण धारयणो धारक नाम विराजित वरमीनाक्षि सुत स्मरिसुव शरण सीता कल्याण सुंदर काकुस्थ कोदंड कौसल्या रामन अवतार ಈ ಜಗದೋಳು ಅಮಿತದ ವ್ಯಾಸಾರ ಮಾರ ಸುಂದರ ರಾಮನ ಅವತಾರ If you see the names of Ganesha, we have various names of Ganesha: Heramba, Gauriputra, Vakratunda, and so on. Krishna has various names. Each god has different names: Rishikesha, Damodara. But if you see names of Rama, right? All names of Rama are around the word Rama, right? Pattabhirama, Kodandarama, Kalyana Rama, my father's name Venkatarama. Everything is around that Rama because the very name of Rama is so attractive. Even Vishwamitra could not find a better name. You know, the name suggested, the Rama name was suggested by Vasishta. And you know, Vishwamitra and Vasishta are north and south poles. So even Vishwamitra could not find a better name than Rama. It's such a Ramyamana name, it's such a beautiful name. When Tyagaraja composed Jagadananda Karaka. Jagadananda Karaka is the only Pancharatna Kriti, what we say Ghanaraga Pancharatnam, composed in Sanskrit. The other four are in Telugu. Now if you see this Jagadananda Karaka, you will not find any verb. Verb means action. You know, generally in Tyagaraja's Kritis, we will find pleading. No, Tyagaraja is full bhakti. He pleads, "Oh Rama, come, give me the vision, protect me. Where are you?" So there's a lot of pleading going on with Tyagaraja's Kritis. But in Jagadananda Karaka, there are no verbs at all. It's all adjectives. I'll just give an example. Jagadananda Karaka, Jayat Janaki Prana Nayaka, Gaganadipa Sat Kulaja, Raja Rajeshwara, Sugunakara, Sura Sevya Bhavya Dayaka, Sada Sakala. Jagadananda Karaka, one who is the cause of happiness to the whole world. Jayat Janaki Prana Nayaka, one who is the soul of Sita Mata. Gaganadipasat Kulaja, one who is born in such a Sat Kulam, such a great lineage. He was born in Surya Vamshan, Gaganadipa. Surya is the leader of the skies. So Gaganadipasat Kulaja, Raja Rajeshwara, the king of kings. So where is the verb? There is no verb. These are all adjectives. Sugunakara, one who gives good conduct. Sura Sevya, one who is worshipped by gods. Bhavya Dayaka, giver of humility. So it so happened that Tyagaraja composed only 8 charanams. And in the 8th charanam, you find his Ankita Nama as Tyagarajanata. Then his disciples pleaded, "Guruji, you have composed 8 charanams. There are only 88 Namavalis. So you compose 2 more charanams and it will become 108. It will become a full Rama Namavali." So after that he composed 2 more charanams, and that's how the 10 charanams of Jagadananda Karaka have come. So if you don't know the Rama Nama Ashtotaram, you can sing the Jagadananda Karaka. That's like singing the Ashtotara Shatanamavali. So Rama and Ramayana today have become a big interesting study, not only for musicians and poets, but for psychiatrists, management gurus, for scientists, right? Because Ramayana, not only Ramayana, the Mahabharatam, the Bhagavad Gita, and the Ramayana. Today, all management schools have a subject on Ramayana, on the leadership skills of Rama, on management lessons from Ramayana. So, it is not that restricted only to temples. Even institutions are looking at Ramayana. Because Ramayana has so many role models. Shabari, Jatayu, Sita, Hanuman, Vibhishana, each one is a role model, and if we start talking about each role model, one Upanyasam will not be enough. So each one is a role model, and each kandam, Ramayana has 7 kandams. So each kandam will give you one management lesson. Now for example, Balakandam, how a leader should be obedient to elders. It all starts from childhood. A leadership qualities imbibed in children. Only then when they grow up, they can become good leaders. So how to be obedient to elders, how to be obedient to parents. Ayodhya Kandam is full management lessons on governance. The conversation between Bharata and Rama is just exemplary. Rama gives such beautiful lessons on governance to Bharata. Aranya Kandam, self-control. The Shurpanaka episode says it all. Kishkinda Kandam, collaboration, how to mobilize resources. Kishkinda Kandam, Sita is lost. You can't expect Rama to go from pillar to post looking for her. So you need people to help him. So how he mobilizes resources. Sundara Kandam, it's all about determination, which we should teach our children. Sundara Kandam is a must to read. And if you read Sundara Kandam, it's like reading the whole Ramayana. Yuddha Kandam, strategic planning. How the bridge was built. What all steps Rama took to convince first Ravana as a peacemaker, he sends Angada. So that is about strategic planning. So each kandam brings out management lessons for all management graduates, especially leadership qualities. And it all starts, the first, what we are going to see today is the leadership qualities of Rama. And it so happened that Valmiki asked Narada 16 qualities which a leader should possess, which a human being should possess. And this all boils down to a leader also. So he asks, Tapaswadhyaya niratam tapasvi vagvidambaram naradam paripapracha valmikir munipungavam onvasmin sampratam loke gunavan kascha viryavan dharmajnyascha kritajnyascha satyavakyo dridavritah charitrena chako yuktah sarvabhuteshu kohitah vidwan kahakasamartascha kaschayka priyadarshanah atmavan kojita krodah dhyutiman konasuyakah kasya bibyati devascha jataroshasya sanyuge. So etadichhamiham shrotum param kautuhalam hime mahashetvam samathosi jnatumevam vidham naram. So he says, oh Narada, tell me that human being who has all these 16 qualities. What are those 16 qualities? Gunavan. One who is endowed with sat gunam, good qualities. And one of the greatest qualities of being a gunavan is we call saushiliam. That is taking everybody together. Sabka saath, sabka vikas. Right? So taking everybody together. Rama never distinguished between high and low. He accepted Guha's hospitality. Guha was a Nishada king. He embraced Sugriva. Sugriva was a monkey king. He gave Sharanagati to Vibhishana. Vibhishana was a Rakshasa. So look at the range of people whom Rama encounters and never distinguishes between, oh, he is outcast. See, so this caste system was there in Treta Yugam to maintain a social order only, not to distinguish or discriminate among people. So that is how Rama, the same way, leaders of today should take people along. You have to connect to people. You cannot sit in some palace and have everything for yourself. A leader should come down without looking into high and low of people, should blend along with people. That is Gunavan. Next, Viryavan, one who is bold and brave. We see that very well in when he destroys the 14,000 Rakshasas in Janasthana, single-handedly, right? But many people are very jealous of Rama. They say, when he killed Vali, where was the Viryatvam? He killed Vali from behind, no? So was it from behind? No. The arrow hits Vali here, which means Rama was in the sight of Vali. And in the Kishkinda Kandam, Rama gives a beautiful justification about why he killed Vali. This is very, very important for us to know, because when fingers are pointed at us, we should be in a position to give that justification and convince people. So why Vali had done a grave mistake? He was a fatherly figure to Sugriva. For whatever mistake Sugriva did, knowingly or unknowingly, it was his responsibility to forgive Sugriva and take him under his shelter. But what did he do? He chased Sugriva practically to every corner of Kishkinda. Sugriva knew practically every geographical corner of Kishkinda because of Vali. Not only that, he had taken Sugriva's wife in captivity. That is another sin. So Rama justifies. So Vali, it is my duty because Kishkinda comes in the purview of Ayodhya. And as a representative of Bharata, I have the right to punish you. So and this is the punishment you deserve. The other thing is, I am a Kshatriya, you are a monkey. You can take it that I hunted you, isn't it? As a Kshatriya, I have the right to hunt. So I can hunt you and you are an animal. So after all these, and he gives many more justifications, then Vali accepts. He says, yes, Rama, what you did was right. I am extremely sorry for my mistake, for keeping Sugriva's wife in captivity, for chasing out Sugriva. He asked pardon from Rama. So even if Vali asks pardon, we will not stop pointing fingers. Right? So that is Viryavan. You have to show your Viryatvam when it is required. Dharmajnascha. Rama was like a rule book. He never went this way and that way from the rule book. Whatever is told in Dharma Shastras, that alone he would do. Rama lived and showed us how to do Dharma. Krishna, through the Gita, he told how to live in a dharmic way. When his father sent him to forest, he did not have a little of thought or a doubt or a little of emotion shown on his face. Because the previous night, the whole city of Ayodhya was jubilant that he is going to become the Yuvaraja. Sita was extremely happy. Kausalya was distributing gifts left, right and center. And Rama himself was so happy. But that everything changed overnight. And when Kaikeyi said, you have to go to the forest, he did not ask a single question. Why? Why me? He never asked that question. He gracefully accepted that because it was his dharma to listen to his father and keep up his father's word. When he went to kill Tataka with Vishwamitra, ideally a Kshatriya should not kill a woman. That is one dharma. But his guru was telling him to kill Tataki. That is another dharma. That's what we say dharma sankatam. You know, on Ekadashi, we will tell, should I go to Vishnu garden and eat masala dosa, or should I go to KFC and eat chicken? We say dharma sankatam will tell. When do you say dharma sankatam? When both are dharma. But here both are adharma. And actually, Ekadashi is not eat anything. They'll tell, no, pakkada maniya subba manige, Ekadashi upavasa, yeno swalpa tintalante, uppittu avalakki paisa. So all this is dharma according to us. So, but for Rama, the concept of dharma was different. He killed Tataka because Guru's word is more weightage than the other dharma. And Raja Dharma, this is another highly debated point. When Sita had to go to the forest, when she was fully pregnant, and Rama sent her to the forest. So all against fingers will point, oh Rama, especially these feminists, they are waiting to pounce on Rama. If really Rama would have done a mistake, why would we be celebrating Rama today? Why would we want a Rama Rajya today? And what was the reason that Rama sent Sita to forest? It was all because of Raja Dharma. I don't know how many of you remember, in 1989, there was this Home Minister of India, and his daughter Rubaiya was kidnapped by militants, and the ransom was exchange of 5 militants. And our government that time was a very weak government who had no concept of dharma. So they exchanged 5 terrorists in exchange for 1 citizen of India. We cannot tell the daughter of a MP. 1 citizen of India. And what was the consequence of that? The mastermind of that abduction, his name was Yasin Malik. Now all of you will know about him. Yasin Malik got a free entry into India, and you will also find him taking photographs with our Maunavratam Prime Minister. You will see that those photos are out in the public space. So what do we learn from this? We cannot compromise on the ethics of the country. If Rama would have behaved as a husband, right? If Rama would have behaved as a husband and no, I'm not going to bother what people tell. For me, I want to be with Sita. If that would have been his attitude, imagine, my friends, what would be the status of the society? People would have started trading women, isn't it? What would people think? Oh, Sita's anyway, she has stayed 1 year with Ravana, so you also go and stay. I'll get some money from you. People will start trading, and when a woman loses respect and character in society, that society is bound to get vanquished. Women of a society are the torchbearers of dharma, and when we don't protect women through this Raja Dharma, through what Rama did, then the society is bound to get destroyed. So what Rama did was, as a king, if he would not have been the king, he would not have bothered what people would say about Sita. So the Raja Dharma that he followed, so leaders today have to know that before your personal likes and dislikes, we have to put the country first, the society first. Even in a corporate, a leader should stick to the ethics of the company. Now you see Tatas, they have taken over all the company. Any space you find Tatas. Because they are so ethical, they stick to the ethics of the company. In fact, when the Mumbai attacks happened, Ratan Tata gave housing, education. He took care of all those people who had lost their lives, the families of those people. So that is a good leader, sticking to the ethics of the company and sticking to the dharma of what we stand for, what our culture says. Dharmajnascha, kritajnascha, always be grateful for what we are today. It could be being grateful to your parents, to your friends. There's a comedian, Crazy Mohan. I don't know how many of you have seen. Tamilians will know. But name doesn't matter. No, he was a very great comedian, script writer. And every script that he writes, he used to tell the producer, I have one condition. You should keep the name of the female lead as Janaki. So everybody was very surprised. Okay, Janaki, maybe it is your wife's name or your mother's name. He said, no, it's my teacher's name. So that is the gratitude that they have for teachers. So wherever a leader, whichever ladder he climbs high, he may be the CEO, CTO, he may be the Prime Minister of the country, but he should never forget those people who helped him reach that level. That is called Kritagnyascha. And when Tyagaraja hears to this Dharmajnascha, Kritagnyascha, he always asks Rama, Samanam Evaru Rama, who is equal to you in Dharmajna and Kritagnya? In fact, Rama was so grateful to Hanuman, he was ready to give Ayodhya to Hanuman. Because without Hanuman, finding Sita would be impossible for him, nearly impossible. He was in that state of mind. So he was so grateful to Rama, and Tyagaraja always sings Samanam Evaru Rama. Samanam Evaru Rama Ramana Rara Rama Ramana Rara Rama Ramana Rara Rama Ramana Rara Rama Ramana ಸಮಾನಮೆವರು ವಿನುಮ ಮನವಿನಿ ಸಮಾನಮೆವರು ವಿನುಮ ಮನವಿನಿ ಸಮಾನಮೆವರು ವಿನುಮ ಮನವಿನಿ ತಮಾವು ಪೊಗಡ ತರಮ ಸಮಾನಮೆವರು ವಿನುಮ ಮನವಿನಿ ತಮಾಸು ಪೊಗಡ ತರಮ ಮಹಿಪತಿ ರಾಮ ರಮಣ ರಾಮ ರಮಣ ರಾಗ ಕೂಡಾದ್ಯವನದಶ ರಥಾರ್ಭಕಮನೋರಥಂ ಭುಜಗೋಸುಮ ರಥಾರ್ಭಸ ಗುಣಬಿಂದಾದ್ಯವನದಶ ರಥಾರ್ಭಕಮನೋರಥಂ ಭುಜಗೋಸುಮ ರಥಾರ್ಭಸ ಗುಣ ವೀರಾನ ಬ್ರೋಮಗ ರಾಧಾ ಶ್ರೀಮದ ಗರಾಜಧರ ತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜ ಸಂಯುಗ ವೀರಾನ ಬ್ರೋಮಗ ರಾಧಾ ಶ್ರೀಮದ ಗರಾಜಧರ ತ್ಯಾಗರಾಜ ಸನ್ನೋತ ರಾಮ ರಮಣ ರಾಮ ರಮಣ ರಾಗ So dharmajnascha kritajnascha, one who sticks to the path of dharma and one who is ever grateful for all the people who have helped him in that path of dharma. Next, satyavakyo, one who is always speaks the truth and sticks to one word. This is very important for today's politicians, right? What is said is never done, and what is not said is done. So satyavakyo, one, that's a main difference between Rama and Ravana. Ravana was a very talented person. He was a very great Shiva Bhakta. But what was the difference? Satyameva Jayate. Rama stood for truth, while Ravana, whatever he did was, he thought it was the truth. Duryodhana was very, very bold, was very brave. He was in fact stronger than Bhima. But what was the problem with him? Asatyam. He did not have truth on his side. So Rama lived up to his word, and that is what leaders of today, especially as I said, politicians, must do. Even in corporate, people want to go up the ladder by hook or crook, by telling all kinds of lies, by favoring people, by flattering people. But that will not stay for long, because what you may get is only materialistic happiness. But internally, one will not have that peace, because the path taken is adharma. It is not one of truth. So satyavakyo, dridhavrataha, one who is extremely determined in taking decisions, and once taken does not go back. Rama decided that he has to go to the forest. That is, after Dasharatha told, Kaikeyi said, Rama, you have to go to the forest. So Rama went to the forest, and Bharata came in search of him. And in Ayodhya Kandam, you will find around 5-6 sargas, where Bharata tries to persuade Rama to come back and take the kingdom. But word once given, he was so determined to keep up his father's word, he just refused to come. So the leaders of today should be very strong in the decisions that they take. And before taking decisions, they have to think enough. Because there may be many obstacles. When you take decisions, you have to think of the obstacles that you will be facing. For example, when Hanuman crossed the ocean, he was very determined that he is going to Lanka and coming back, finding Sita, or he's going to give up his life there. That is what he had decided. He had three kinds of obstacles. Even obstacles can be differentiated as sattvic, rajasic, or tamasic. What is a sattvic obstacle? The Mainaka, right? So the Mainaka said, Hanuman, why don't you rest for some time? You have a long way to go. He was a nice person. Mainaka wished good for Hanuman, but Hanuman was very determined. He didn't want to stop. So if you see, parents are sattvic obstacles. Suppose if the child is working very well and he wants to do some entrepreneurship. First thing what parents will tell, why pa, you're earning well, no. Why do you want to get into business and all? It is a big risk. So they are sattvic obstacles which wish good for us. That is needed. Next is rajasic obstacle, surasa. So what did she do? She went on opening her mouth, and Hanuman also went on becoming big, and suddenly he reduced to Angushta Matram, to a size of a thumb, went inside and came back. So rajasic obstacle has to be dealt with intellectually. Right? When we had the standoff with China in the Galwan Valley, come what may, our soldiers did not give up. Right? And as days went by, see, our soldiers are very much have the capability to withstand that temperature and the terrain, because we are trained for that. We have been guarding Pakistan for all these years, right? So we are trained for that. But Chinese are not trained like that. So they had to retreat back. No, literally, patience and perseverance, they overcame the mountains there. They overcame the Himalaya mountain. Literally, it was true. So a rajasic obstacle should be dealt with at an intellectual level, very intelligently, through dialogue. That also is one way. Tamasic obstacle, so simhika. So what is tamasic people, rajasic people at least, they have to prosper. They are not bothered about others. Whether you have, however you are, I don't bother. But I have to prosper. I should come forward. But tamasic people, it's like, even if I lose one eye, it's okay. You should lose both the eyes. They are always on destroying others, like our neighboring country. Right? They'll do anything. They don't want to improve their economy, but they want to destroy us. So they do everything possible. And the only solution is destroy the enemy. Like what we did in Balakot. Right? They wanted to destroy us. They put somebody in Pulwama. They put something in Pulwama. We went straight into the territory and destroyed them. So a tamasic obstacle has to be, the solution is you have to destroy them. So a leader should identify the kind of obstacles. You can't deal every obstacle in the same way. Isn't it? So he should have a set of ministers. He should have a self-thinking thought, what kind of obstacles they are, how we have to handle the obstacles. So that is what Drida Vrataha. Once you take decisions, you should not go back on the decisions. And the decisions that you take should be very firm. Come what may. Satyavakyo Drida Vrataha. Charitrena cha koyuktaha, who is excelled in character. Rama was such a beautiful character. Today, we have changed the definition of character. When we go to see alliances, right, for our boy and girl, do you have any boy in mind? Yeah, boy is there. He is in US, he earns 10 lakhs per month, he has a house, he has a car, and what is the girl doing? Oh, the girl also, she's working 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs a month, more than the boy. She has a house, she has everything. Nobody asks questions about, does the boy respect women? No questions asked. If these are there, earning, property, then the good boy, good girl, we tag them. But we don't ask questions like, does the boy respect women? Does the girl allow in-laws to come? That's a big question today. Isn't it? Will the girl live with in-laws? That's the first question the girls will ask. Will your parents stay with me? Isn't it? So, we have lost that definition of character. We have put all material success as good character. But that is not what Rama stood for. Even if you take Sita, Sita is an exalted character, more than one step ahead of Rama. She was a great pativrata. Pativrata doesn't mean that, you bow your head and listen to whatever the husband says. That is not a pativrata. Pativrata, her duty is to advise her husband when needed. When they had to go to the forest, Rama says, Sita, you have to stay with my mother because she has to serve my father. So Sita asks, what logic is this? You want me to stay with your mother who wants to serve your father. So it is my duty to serve you. When you don't want your mother to get separated from your father, how can I be separated from you? She argues, she cries. There's a big argument between Rama and Sita, and finally Rama had to give in. So that again, Dridhavrataha. Sita was extremely adamant on going with Rama. And when Rama said, see Sita, there are a lot of animals there, Rakshasas there, they'll trouble you a lot. She says, why should I fear Rama? You are there. No. 100% belief on Rama. Such a character. And all this comes because of upbringing. You know, when Kausalya advises, when before Sita goes, Kausalya advises Sita how she has to take care of Rama and all that general advice. So Sita says, my parents have taught me everything. So she was very assertive, very affirmative. And this character, that charitra that I am talking about, is not built in a day. We have to inculcate this during childhood itself. You know, when Vivekananda was a child, he used to tell his mother, I want to become a horse rider. I want to become a horse rider. So what would we tell? Horse rider, what ambition you have? I thought you will become an engineer or a doctor. But you know what Vivekananda's mother did? She brought the photo of Krishna in the war field and she says, yes, you become a charioteer, you become like this Krishna. That is the kind of character that we should build in our children. Charitrena cha koyuktaha, sarva bhuteshu kohitaha. One who wishes good for all creatures, not only human beings. Today we have made a mess of nature, isn't it? We only think about ourselves. We are cutting down trees, our rivers are getting dried up, our soil is going bad. Everything possible we have done to the nature. But a true leader should always be very conscious about environment. Sarva bhuteshu. He should take care of all the creatures, not only human beings. And that's what Rama did. He did Jatayu, he did the last rites for Jatayu. And then he told Vibhishana to do the last rites for Ravana. Vibhishana was not in a position, he did not want to do the last rites for Ravana. But Rama said, Vibhishana, if you don't do, I will do. So he loved all creatures in the same way. So a leader should look at all creatures, always think in terms of environment. You should be environment friendly. That is only then you will stand out from the others. Sarva bhuteshu kohitaha. Vidwan. A person who is extremely knowledgeable in whatever he does. And this is a very important quality of a leader. He should have skilled ministers, skilled people, not only in corporate. If you are a corporate leader, you should have a set of engineers or who whatever business you are into, should have skilled people to advise you in a critical way. You should never have yes boss always. No, previous governments we had. For everything they used to say yes boss, yes boss, yes boss. No critical decision, no critical suggestions, no critical inputs. But a true leader will always have good set of ministers. This is in elaborate Rama has told. When Bharata met Rama, Rama asked Bharata, how are you taking the kingdom forward? Do you have good ministers? Are they giving you the right advice? Do you have good spies in the country to note down, to see whether people are happy, not to spy around other countries? You need spies within the country to know how your governance is. So this kind of dialogue happens between Rama and Bharata. And a true leader, as I said, should have a set of very close. You cannot have a set of 50 ministers or 50 people who advise for you. There are different levels in confidentiality. You have a set of very close ministers or friends whom you take decisions with. Then you have another circle of ministers who advise you on certain things. So a leader should know whom to pick for what job. That is what we say vidwan. Samarthascha, a person who is able to handle any situation, mobilize resources and planning and execution. The Ram Setu is a classic example. So Rama picked Nala and Neela to build the Ram Setu because they were expert in bridge civil engineers. They were very good civil engineers. So, Samartheshu, a king should know whom to give which task for. He should know how to mobilize resources. He should take responsibility for his actions. Because once you execute a task, generally what we do, if we succeed, then we take the credit. Oh, I did it, I worked so hard, I did it, the I becomes big. But when we fail, what happens? Oh, it's all because of that person. It's all the blame game starts. In 1979, when the low orbit Rohini was launched, for which Dr. Abdul Kalam was the project director. So everything was set, and the countdown had begun, and when there was 40 seconds for the launch, the computer started blinking and throwing up some error. So Abdul Kalam was very confused what to do. But his scientists were so confident, they said, no, go ahead, let's launch the rocket, let's launch the satellite. So Abdul Kalam went ahead. Instead of going up, it landed in the Bay of Bengal. It was a failure. He was very disappointed. But Vikram Sarabhai, who was the chairman of ISRO, he gave a press conference and he took full responsibility for the failure. That is the kind of charitra we are looking in our leaders. He could have told, oh, Abdul Kalam failed, but it's okay, Abdul Kalam, we will take it up next. He owned the responsibility for the failure. So a good leader will always give credit to the team when it is successful and will take responsibility for the failure if at all it happens. That is what we say by Samartheshu. Priyadarshanaha, one who is very pleasing to look. I won't say beautiful. For all of us, we say black. How is a girl? Girl is nice but dark. Right? Dark doesn't mean that it's not beautiful. Krishna was dark. Shiva was blue. Aren't we worshipping them? One should be pleasing in the way you talk, pleasing in the way you conduct yourself. And when that when the inside is beautiful, it will automatically reflect in the outside. You don't have to put any makeup. No need of makeup. Some people are fair, but still they want to become like maida flour. They put so many, all kinds of, how many layers I don't know. It's not needed. Once one Alexander is a comedian. He was telling, why these women put so much lipstick, man? We know what is where. We will take care of it. So there's no need of so much of makeup. When the inside is beautiful, the outside is already beautiful. I'm not against you makeup and things like that, but what I'm telling is, Priyadarshanaha, you have to be pleasing to everybody. That is the key. And all these characters that we have discussed till now, Muthuswami Dikshitar has brought out very beautifully in his Ramachandram Bhavayami. He says, Saketa Nagare Nivasantam, in the Charanam. Saketa Nagare, this is sung when he went to Ayodhya. So Saketa Nagare, Saket Nagar is Ayodhya. Nivasantam, one who stayed there. So he has brought this song is sung in Vasanta Ragam. So he has brought the Raga Mudra. He has also brought the Nagara Mudra, that is Saketa Nagare. Samrajya Prata Hanumantam. He was ready to give the kingdom to Hanuman. That is Kritagnyascha. Rakendu Vadanam Priyadarshanaha. One who had a face of a full moon. So Priyadarshanaha, what we just discussed. Ramaniya, very endearing. Sarvabhuteshu Kohitaha. Kalyana Gunavantam, Gunavan, the first character that we study. Kakustam, one who belongs to the clan of Kakusta, that is Charitra, that is the lineage. Dhimantam, one who is very intelligent, that is Vidwan. So all these, he has intertwined all these characters, these qualities in Ramachandram Bhavayami, which we will hear now. Ramachandram Bhavayami, Ramachandram Bhavayami, Raghukula Tilakam Upendram, Ramachandram Bhavayami, Raghukula Tilakam गुणवन्तं काकुस्थं धीमन्तं कमलाक्षं श्रीमन्तं नागेशनुदमनन्दं नरगुरुहरिहरन्दं काकुस्थं धीमन्तं कमलाक्षं श्रीमन्तं नागेशनुदमनन्दं नरगुरुहरिहरन्दं रामचन्द्रं भावयामि रघुकुलतिलकं उपेन्द्रं रामचन्द्रं So this brings till what we have seen. This song kind of summarizes all the qualities. The next Valmiki asks was Atmavan. Atmavan means one who is happy by himself. That is, even if people leave you, right? A leader should not always look for people to be around him and flatter him. You know, all of us tend to have that, we cling to people. So, but Atmavan, in fact, Rama was very happy to go to the forest because he would be alone. Nobody would trouble him. No responsibilities, right? That having said that, it is not that he was running away from responsibilities, but he was a man who would be happy by himself if left alone. He did not want any paraphernalia with him, always people surrounding him. Similar to Abdul Kalam sir, when he relinquished the presidentship, he did not live in any government bungalow. The moment he finished his term as a president, the next day he was in his house doing what he wanted. So that is the quality of Atmavan. That is a true leader. Our current Prime Minister also is like that. Right? Left to himself, he is happy. We have many such people, Sadhguru, Jaggi Vasudev. He has taken up this responsibility of spreading the culture, but left to himself, he is happy on his own. So that is what Atmavan means. Jitak Krodaha, one who controls anger, is a very, very important aspect. All of us, chattuputti, we get angry for all small things, right? Jitak Krodaha. And why do we get angry? Because of desire. So Rama was a person with absolutely no desire, and he worked only for the society. In Gita, Krishna beautifully says, right? Dhyayato Vishayan Pumsaha Sangasteshopajayate Sangat Sanjayate Kamaha Kamat Krodho Vijayate Krodat Bhavati Sammohaha Sammohas Smriti Vibhramaha Smriti Bhramshat Buddhinasho Buddhinashat Pranashyati. So everything starts from a desire, and desire and anger are two sides of the same coin. Not all desires are going to get fulfilled. And the moment our desire doesn't get fulfilled, we get angry. So Rama had complete control over his anger. The Shurpanaka episode is one such. He never got angry with Shurpanaka. It was Lakshmana who cut the nose of Shurpanaka. But he was very patient with Shurpanaka, gave him various options. You go and marry Lakshmana. No, I am a Ekapatni Vratam. I have taken that Vratam. He was very patient with Shurpanaka. So he had anger completely under his control. Similarly, Sita, complete control of anger. In the in Ashokavana, she was a lady of maybe early 20s when she was kidnapped. Now we have to imagine this. She's abducted to Lanka. She doesn't know the language there. She doesn't know the people there. And what kind of people are surrounding her? Ekakshim, Ekakarnam cha. One-eared Rakshasi, one-eyed Rakshasi, a conch-shelled eared Rakshasi, lips on the chin, that Rakshasi, Hrasvam, short one, Dirgam, fat one, long one, all kinds of weird creatures. They are not even Rakshasas. She was surrounded by such people. Imagine, we have to imagine ourselves. We go to a land, if you go to Japan and people start talking Japanese, we are lost. It's a language which we know is a language. But here was a lady who was sitting in an unknown place with unknown people hovering around her. Marry Ravana, others will eat you, will kill you, will cut you into pieces. Frightening her. but she never lost her cool. So that is what we ladies, women have to learn. Being tolerant. She could have burnt all of them in a second because she was such a great pativrata. But she had a lot of compassion to them because they were not at fault. They were only following orders. They were Ravana's servants who were following orders. That's all. So she never got angry with them. She had complete control over anger. And if you get angry, what happens when Hanuman burns the whole of Lanka? What happens? He goes and quenches the fire in the ocean. Suddenly he remembers, oh my God, what did I do? I burned the whole Lanka. What will happen to Sita Mata? So hasty decision taken in anger will result in a big waste. Luckily, he heard people telling that, see, the whole Lanka has got burned, but Ashokavana is safe. That has not got burned. So it was a big solace for him. Having said that, he repented for taking a hasty decision. So anger leads to hasty decision. So that's why, even all these psychiatrists, they say, when you're angry, don't take any decision. Just hold on, calm down, take a break, right? And then you start thinking over. So first of all, anger should be controlled, not by force. Oh, Krishna has told, don't get angry. I have to somehow control my anger. Krishna has told not to desire. I have to control my desire. That is not possible. So a control should come through constant introspection and contemplation. It should be a logical decision that desire will not lead us anywhere. So that is what is Jitak Krodaha. Dyutiman. Dyutiman is non-emulative. This is a very beautiful character which all of us should know. Non-emulative. And we are experts in that, emulation, not non-emulative. Whatever the Westerners do, we have to do. Be it the dress code, be it the food habits, right? Be it the culture, whatever they do, we have to do. Every region have the dress code, have the food habits according to the climatic conditions, according to the geography, according to the history of that country. But what are we doing? We are trying to become them. What will happen ultimately? We are going to degenerate. We are going to give up our culture. Like when the British went, Sadhguru says that it gave us freedom, but they took away our minds. Unless we stick on to our culture, to our practices, to our food habits, to our dress code, we will not be, we can't even respect ourselves. And all this comes because of lack of self-respect. So we should understand that Westerners do it because of their convenience. We should do it according to our convenience, not emulate them. That's why Rama was non-emulative. And that is the very good quality of a leader, not looking at others. Oh, that country has taken help from China, so I'll also take help from China. Right? That's what happened. Two of our neighbors competing to take help from a third country. Finally, now the southern country is in streets. They don't have money to buy paper for their examination, A4 sheets for their examination. So we cannot emulate some other country. We have to live up to our culture and have our practices intact. Dyutiman. Asuyakaha. This is another one. Non-jealous. Right? Asuyaka. When do we feel jealous? Only when we have an inferiority complex. So we should think all of us have some strength in us. The same Asuyaka and Dyutiman go hand in hand. Right? So unless we discover the strengths in us, we will always look at somebody else. There's jealousy. There is a sense of non-accomplishment. Oh, that person has done that. And Asuyaka comes because of Tamogunam. When you are jealous of somebody, you will take any steps to destroy that person. It can go to that extent. That is how Duryodhana fell. He was very jealous of his cousins. If only he had given those 5 villages to Pandavas, right, he would have been praised. Not only praised, he would have been alive for longer to be the king of Hastinapur. But he was very jealous of his cousins. So Asuyakaha is a tamogunam which can lead to self-destruction. Jata Roshasya, one who gets angry at the right time. So we saw Jitakrodaha, which is control of anger. But Jata Roshasya means one who gets angry for the right reason. And we see that in Janasthana, where he gets angry and kills 14,000 Rakshasas. Another example is Kakasura, right? Kakasura, what happens? Sita and Rama, see, Rama is lying on Sita's lap, he's taking a nap, and Jayanta, who is the son of Indra, he comes, he sees Sita, he's attracted to her, and he comes as a crow and starts pecking at her. So she is withstanding, she doesn't want to disturb Rama from sleep, but a few drops of blood fall on Rama, and Rama gets up, he's very angry. So that is Jataroshasya, not because somebody hurt his wife, somebody has hurt a woman. So that is the respect that he has for a woman. So he immediately takes a blade of grass, gives the mantra and shoots an arrow. And that arrow chases Jayanta everywhere. Finally he comes and falls at Rama's feet. So Sita, as usual, is ever compassionate. No, she asks Rama to pardon him. So that is Jataroshasya, getting angry at the right time. Similarly, Janasthanam. Similarly, when he had to build a bridge, he prayed to the ocean god for 3 days. The ocean did not give way. Then he got angry. He lifted a bow and arrow and said, I'm going to put an arrow and divide you. And that is when ocean god came up. So these are justified angers. So Jitakrodaha and Jataroshasya should not be mixed up. Jitakrodaha is controlling your desires for materialistic accomplishments. Jataroshasya is getting justified anger for the sake of protection of society. That is Jataroshasya Sangyuge. And this Parashurama episode, our Patnam Subramanya Iyer brings in a very beautiful kriti. Aghamegha Maruta Shrikara, Asuresha Mrigendra, one who is a terror to the Asuras. Jamadagnija Gharva Khandana. So even when during the Swayamvara of Sita, Rama broke Shivadanush, and the Parashurama was very angry with it because that bow was given by him to Janaka. So he confronts Rama and Rama defeats Parashurama. So Jamadagnija Garva Khandana Jaya Rudradi Vismita Bandhana. It was praised even by gods like Rudra. So let's hear to that. Raghuvanshasudhambudhi chandrashri Raghuvanshasudhambudhi chandrashri Raghuvanshasudhambudhi chandrashri Raghuvanshasudhambudhi chandrashri Rama Rama Rajeshwara Raghuvanshasudhambudhi chandrashri Rama Rama Rajeshwara Raghuvanshasudhambudhi chandrashri Rama Rama Rajeshwara Raghuvanshasudhambudhi chandrashri Aghamegama Ruta Shrikara Aghamegama Ruta Shrikara Aghamegama Ruta Shrikara Suresha Mrigendra Vinu Tashri Suresha Mrigendra Vinu Tashri Sa Re Maga Re Sa Re Maga Ga Ni Ga Ga Pa Sa Sa Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Pa Ma Ga Re Sa Re Ma Ma Ga Ga Ni Ga Pa Pa Sa Sa Re Ma Ma Ga Ga Re Sa Sa Ni Ni Da Ga Pa Pa Ma Ga Re Sa Re Ma Ga Re Sa Re Ma Da Da Ni Ga Ga Pa Sa Sa Ni Da Pa Ma Ga Re Sa Re Ma Ma Da Da Ni Ga Pa Sa Re Ma Ma Ga Ga Re Sa Sa Ni Ni Da Da Pa Pa Ma Ga Re Raghuvanshasudhambudhi chandrashri Rama Rama Rajeshwara Raghuvanshasudhambudhi chandrashri जमदग्निज गर्वखण्डना जय रुद्र विस्मितवन्दना जमदग्निज गर्वखण्डना जय रुद्र विस्मितवन्दना कमलाक्तं वयमण्डना कमलाक्तं वयमण्डना कमलाक्तं वयमण्डना निताद्भुता शौर्यश्री वेङ्कटेश निताद्भुता शौर्यश्री वेङ्कटेश सारे मग सरे रे मग దని గ పస సరి ద ప మగ సరే రి మ మద దని గ ప పస సరే రి మ మగ దని రి స సని ని ద ప మ మగ రి ర గోవంశ సోదా మోది చంద్ర శ్రీ రామ రామ రాజేశ్వర రఘువంశ సోదా మోది చంద్ర శ్రీ. So these 16 qualities, if a person has even one quality, if we cultivate, others all will fall in place. We don't have to keep a calendar of, oh, this day I did this quality, this day I did that quality, not necessary. For example, if you take Satya Vakyo, that one quality if we take, the all will fall in place. And as a child, I think it's important for parents, for grandparents to cultivate these children. Nowadays, if you ask a child, who's your superhero? They'll say Batman, Superman, He-Man, God knows what all, Star Wars. Nobody will say Rama or Krishna. That's because we have made the mistake. So we have to tell children, teach them stories about, tell them stories about Rama, Krishna. Talk about their heroic deeds. Talk about their qualities and try to imbibe them in our children. It is not enough if you just buy a book, okay, and give it to the child. Okay, you read this Ramayanam and tell me who is Rama's father, who is Rama's sister, whatever. Enough for a quiz program. No. We have to imbibe the qualities in the children. And how do we imbibe qualities? We have to first inculcate those qualities. As parents, as grandparents, we have to inculcate those qualities. Because when Rama ruled the kingdom, we want a Rama Rajya today. Rama Rajya was there in the Treta Yugam, thousands and thousands of years back. But still, if we are talking about Rama Rajyam today, you can imagine what kind of a ruler he was. And when he was ruling, the entire kingdom would always talk about Rama. Ramo, Ramo, Rama iti prabha prajanam abhavan kataha. Rama bhutam jagabhut Rame Rajyam prashasati. Always the world was with Rama and Rama was in the world. So the entire community revolved around Rama. So that kind of a leader we need. And how do we develop these is introspection, reading stories about Rama, telling children about Ramayana, introspection, contemplation. All these cannot be built in a day. Writing Ramanama, chanting the name of Rama. This is all kind of mind purification. These are all brings a clarity of thought, because we have to take him as a guru. And if you cannot pray to Rama, you can pray to Hanuman. Isn't it? Hanuman is like a guru. When Sita was in forest and Rama was in this side of the forest and Sita was in Lanka, Hanuman was like a guru who connected Sita, who is the Atma, and Rama, who is the Paramatma. So he was like a guru. So we can always hold on to Hanuman. He will put our petition to Rama, not to worry about it. And Purandaradasa beautifully sings. When you say Ra ಎಂದ ಮಾತ್ರದೊಳು ರಕ್ತಮಾಂಸದೊಳಿದ್ದ ಆಯಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಗತವಾದ ಅತಿ ಪಾಪವು. Even the cruelest sin that you have committed, when you say Ra, all of them goes out. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾ ಎಂದನಲು, that is in Rama, ಹೊರಬಿದ್ದ ಪಾಪಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಳಗೆ ಹೋಗದಂತೆ. So when you say Ma, the sins will not go back inside. So that Rama is a great sin purifier. And we will end this Upanyasam with this beautiful Purandaradasa Kirtana, where he says, Ramayam Bhuva Yaradu, ಅಕ್ಷರದ ಮಹಿಮೆಯೇನು, ಪಾಮರರು ತಾವೇನು ಬಲ್ಲೆರಯ್ಯ. ವಾಟ್ ಡು ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ರಾಮ, ವಾಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ದೇ ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ನೇಮ್ ಆಫ್ ರಾಮ? ರಾಮಯಂಬುವ ಎರಡು ಅಕ್ಷರದ ಮಹಿಮೆಯನು ಪಾಮರರು ತಾವೇನು ಬಲ್ಲೆರಯ್ಯ. ರಾಮಯಂಬುವ ಎರಡು ಅಕ್ಷರದ ಮಹಿಮೆಯನು ಪಾಮರರು ತಾವೇನು ಬಲ್ಲೆರಯ್ಯ. ರಾಯಂದ ಮಾತ್ರದೊಳು ರಕ್ತ ಮಾಂಸದೊಳಿರ್ಬ ಆಯಸ್ಥಿತ ಗತವಾದ ಅತಿ ಪಾಪವು. ರಾಯಂದ ಮಾತ್ರದೊಳು ರಕ್ತ ಮಾಂಸದೊಳಿರ್ಬ ಆಯಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಗತವಾದ ಅತಿ ಪಾಪವು. ಮಾಯವನು ಮಾಡಿ ಮಹಾರಾಯ ಮುಕ್ತಿಯ ಕೊಡುವ. ಮಾಯವನು ಮಾಡಿ ಮಹಾರಾಯ ಮುಕ್ತಿಯ ಕೊಡುವ. ಕಾವ್ಯವನು ವಾಲ್ಮೀಕಿ ಮುನಿರಾಯ ಬಲ್ಲ. ಕಾವ್ಯವನು ವಾಲ್ಮೀಕಿ ಮುನಿರಾಯ ಬಲ್ಲ. ರಾಮಯಂಬುವ ಎರಡು ಅಕ್ಷರದ ಮಹಿಮೆಯನು ಪಾಮರರು ತಾವೇನು ಬಲ್ಲೆರಯ್ಯ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾಯಂದನಲು ಹೊರಬಿದ್ದ ಪಾಪಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಳ ಹೋಗದಂತೆ ಕವಾಟವಾಗಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಮಾಯಂದನಲು ಹೊರಬಿದ್ದ ಪಾಪಗಳು ಮತ್ತೆ ಒಳ ಹೋಗದಂತೆ ಕವಾಟವಾಗಿ. ಚಿತ್ತ ಕಾಯಗಳ ಪವಿತ್ರ ಮಾಡುವ ಪರಿಯ ಭಕ್ತವರ ಹನುಮತ ಒಬ್ಬದ ಬಲ್ಲ. ಭಕ್ತವರ ಹನುಮಂತ ಒಬ್ಬದ ಬಲ್ಲ. ರಾಮಯಂಬುವ ಎರಡು ಅಕ್ಷರದ ಮಹಿಮೆಯನು ಪಾಮರರು ತಾವೇನು ಬಲ್ಲೆರಯ್ಯ. ಧರೆಯೊಳಿ ನಾಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸರಿಮಿಗಿಲು ಇಲ್ಲೆಂದು ಪರಮ ವೇದಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊಗಳುತ್ತಿಹವು. ಧರೆಯೊಳಿ ನಾಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸರಿಮಿಗಿಲು ಇಲ್ಲೆಂದು ಪರಮ ವೇದಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹೊಗಳುತ್ತಿಹವು. ಸಿರಿಯರಸ ಪುರಂದರ ವಿಠಲನ let us pray today that Rama gives us. No, it is not over still. I know Prasadam is there. Just 2 more minutes. So let's all pray that Rama gives us, blesses us with these qualities to some extent at least, so that we can continue in the next birth. Okay? And as I said, Hanuman is always there to help us. Let's catch hold of him. And there's a beautiful bhajan. When we said Kritagnyascha, right? I thought of this. I should thank my Guru, Anantalakshmi Mata. Many of you might be knowing her. When I was in school, she used to teach this song, and it was a very favorite song of mine. So, as a tribute to my Guru, I want to end this Upanyasam with this small bhajan. It's like bring your chit towards Rama's feet. She is a very great devotee of Rama. So let's end this. Rama charan chitlana, Rama charan chitlana, kabhi na bhulna, ye jeevan do din ka. Rama charan chitlana, kabhi na bhulna, ye jeevan do din ka. जीवन है एक जंगल की लकड़ी, ओ जंगल की लकड़ी, आगे जले जल जाना, आगे जले जल जाना, कभी न भूलना, ये जीवन दो दिन का. रामा चरण चितलाना, कभी न भूलना, ये जीवन दो दिन का. जीवन है एक मिट्टी की ढेरी, ओ मिट्टी की ढेरी, पानी पड़े गुल जाना, पानी पड़े गुल जाना, कभी न भूलना, ये जीवन दो दिन का. रामा चरण चितलाना, कभी न भूलना, ये जीवन दो दिन का. जीवन है एक कागज की पुतली, ओ कागज की पुतली, हवा पड़े उड़ जाना, हवा पड़े उड़ जाना, कभी न भूलना, ये जीवन दो दिन का. रामा चरण चितलाना, कभी न भूलना, ये जीवन दो दिन का. रामा चरण चितलाना, कभी न भूलना, ये जीवन दो दिन का, दो दिन का, दो दिन का. आञ्जनेयमतिपाटलालनं काञ्चनाद्रिकमनीयविग्रहं पारिजाततरुमूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं. यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमद राक्षसान्तकं मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वादात्मजं वानरयूतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि. बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वम् अरोहताम् अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्. असाध्यः साधकस्वामिन् असाध्यं तव किं वद. रामदूतकृपासिन्धो मत्कार्यं साधय प्रभो. कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. Thank you for your patience and I beg your pardon for any mistakes committed. Ram Ram.
I don't know what to say, but I have a lot to say, which I'll say it slowly. First, I would like to thank Mr. Krishnamani, who has accompanied Ms. Srimati Vasudha brilliantly on the violin. Please give a loud round of applause. And we would like to give a token of appreciation to him. Okay, please clap. Okay, next we would like to felicitate Master Shreyas. He's accompanied on the tabla, Mridangam. Thank you very much. Okay, now I'll come to the main person. We all know Srimati Vasudha is an alumni of IIT, but I'm not going to talk about that. We all know when one person is good at something, they would be good at everything, right? Because it translates into everything. So she is a very, very active member of our cultural team here, especially the temple committee, and one who makes our Hindu culture and dharma very, very relevant to the current generation and the younger generation through quizzes, through maybe other forms, but today she has made it very, very relevant in terms of management aspects. So from Crazy Mohan to rockets, from Sabka Saath to governance, from Yasin Malik to Purandarasa, Muthuswami Dikshitar, and then you name it, all the topics were actually covered. There's so much of connection in today that everybody would have found something to learn from. 16 qualities were so very well described through different explanations. I couldn't find a better rounded explanation to the 16 qualities. So I'll just give a run through the 16. I'm not going to describe them, though I have written it in detail. This is for all those who have missed and who at least aspire to, though not Jyoti a mimic, but I think Rama is mimicable and he should be emulated. So only on that quality we should know all the 16 to know what to emulate. Gunavan, right? The first one is one with Gunam. Veeravan, third one is the one who follows Dharma. I may not be giving you the exact Sanskrit word because even I'm not familiar with it, neither can I say it so well. I cannot even match the capacity that she has. Fourth one was Rajadharma. Fifth one was Kritagnacha, one who is very grateful. I think that is something that everybody has to learn. The world currently is lacking in gratitude, so that is one quality that we all need to definitely imbibe. Sixth one is Satya Vakyo. Oh my God, that is something that everybody has to follow. Sticks to one's word and speaks the truth. Seventh is Drida Vridaha, or one who is determined and stands by one's decision. And then is firm. So the eighth one is the one with character. Ninth is Sarva Bhuteshu, the one who loves his environment and who cares for everybody in his environment, from Jatayu to, the Vanaraha to everybody. So one who is very, very careful and who cares, not careful, who cares for his environment and everything around him. Right? 10th one is Vidwan, knowledgeable, extremely good at his subject, whichever it is. And you can see how much notes I've made. Next is Samartreshta, or handling any situation with equanimity. Okay? And then is Priyadarsha, one who is pleasing in demeanor and conduct, beautiful insight basically. And then Atmavan, happy by himself. Jita Krodaha, one who can control his anger and desires, that is especially materialistic by nature, and who puts society first more than his own desires. And then Dyutiman, one who does not emulate, chooses to stand, do the right thing, not the easy thing, right? So he's always stuck to his words. That's the one that has run through he's been obedient, done all the tough things. What nobody would choose, he has chosen. Because his father gave a vow, he took it up. He never said, as Vasudha auntie said, he never backed out just because his father has given a vow, why should I follow? So obedient, everything. So he has stuck to his own dharma. And Asuya, is that a quality? Yeah, non-jealous, because there's no comparison. He's already exemplary. Why is there a comparison between Rama or anybody? Right? And Jata Rosha, right? Jata Roshaha, one who gets angry for the right reasons, not for the wrong reasons. After extreme patience and tolerance, if things are not happening for the larger good, then is when he really gets angry. So I don't think there is any more need to, you know, me to say anything. So for all those who missed, these are the 16 qualities that we look up to Lord Rama, and we should all emulate a few. So thank you, Srimati Vasudha, for bringing it to our notice and making our evening really, really enriching and knowledgeable. Thank you very much. We would like to felicitate you. Thank you on behalf of all of us. Please give her an applause.
It's an honor to receive this from my mother-in-law. Thank you so much. And very thoughtful of Shamla, I think. Thank you.
Okay, now we would follow this up with the Maha Mangalati. The prasada will be given only after the Mangalati, so please queue up after the Mangalati. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining us and making this evening wonderful. And Jai Shri Ram.
ಹಲೋ, ಭಕ್ತಾದಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ವಿನಂತಿ, ದೇವಸ್ಥಾನದ ಪದಾರ್ಥಗಳಿಡಕ್ಕೆ ನಮಗೆ ಜಾಗ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು ಜಾಗ ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ವಿನಂತಿ.
கட்டுறதுக்கா